Hello, college biology students. This is our video on polar covalent bonding. It's got a lot of similarities to nonpolar covalent bonding, but there are significant differences. So let's go. First, polar covalent bonding occurs between an atom with a high electronegativity and an atom with a moderate electronegativity. In this case, oxygen is representing our highly electronegative atom and carbon is representing our moderately electronegative atom. And what happens is the high electronegative atom takes an electron from the moderate electronegative atom. Now, unlike ionic bonding, where the low electronegative atom could never get that electron back, carbon actually is strong enough to take electrons. In fact, in these polar covalent bondings, both atoms are strong enough to take electrons. But unlike nonpolar covalent bondings, this exchange of electrons is continuous, but it is not simultaneous. The high electronegative atom takes the electrons first, and the high electronegative atom keeps that electron for a time. And as we know, when we change the number of electrons, we get a charge. So during the period of time where oxygen has that electron, oxygen has a negative charge and carbon has a positive charge. But then, how do I do this? So yeah, then the moderate electronegative atom can take it back. So that gaining of an electron was temporary. In ionic bonding, it's permanent. In polar covalent bonding, that gain of electron is temporary. So the oxygen loses it and the carbon gains it back. And that puts them back at a neutral situation again, just like where they started. So they had charges and then they didn't have charges. Well, it turns out once they're in this situation, the situation repeats. So the carbon loses an electron, oxygen gains it, they have a charge, then the carbon gains that electron back and they go back to neutral. Now it takes me a while to scroll through all those pictures, but this is happening millions of times a second between these two atoms. So they are going from charge to neutral, 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 over and over and over again. And that they're never fully charged. They're never fully neutral because they're always switching back and forth so rapidly that they kind of have this half-strength charge, which we call a partial charge. So that we would say that the carbon has a partial positive charge because of this rapid switching, and the oxygen has a partial negative charge because of this rapid switching. Now, because that exchange is continuous, just like nonpolar covalent bonding, we do create a hybrid cloud of the electrons transferring between them that surrounds both atoms, keeping them together. But this cloud has got some different qualities. One side, the highly electronegative side, is a little more dense with electrons. It's got more electrons more often, so it has the partial negative quality, and the moderately electronegative atom has fewer electrons more often, and it has the partial positive quality. So let's review. Polar covalent bonds occur between a highly electronegative atom and a moderately electronegative atom. Both atoms are strong enough to take electrons from each other. The transfer of valence electrons is continuous, but it is not simultaneous. The high electronegative atom takes an electron from the moderate electronegative atom for a time before the moderate electronegative atom can take it back. Because the transfers of electrons is not simultaneous, the highly electronegative atom temporarily gains an electron, and the moderate electronegative atom temporarily loses an electron. This gives the high electronegative atom a partial negative charge and the moderate electronegative atom a partial positive charge. And because the transfer of electrons is continuous, a hybrid electron cloud forms around both atoms, keeping them together, and that hybrid cloud is the polar covalent bond. I hope this helps. Struggle well.